Learn how to braise chicken. HomeCookBasics.com.
Hey, it's Bob, Home Cooked Basics. So today I got a treat for you. We're gonna braise chicken. If you've never braised before, you're gonna be shocked at how easy it is, and it creates an incredible dish. So we're gonna braise some chicken thighs, and I promise you, you're gonna love it.
All right, let's break down the ingredients we got for this dish. We got some chicken thighs. That's for chicken. We got onions, carrots, and celery. These are gonna produce the mirepoix for the French cuisine. Garlic, my favorite. We have salt, kosher salt. Fresh cracked black pepper. Some tomato paste. And then the chicken broth. Don't forget, high heat oil, avocado oil. My favorite for high heat. Now the first step is to prepare the vegetables. We're going to cut up some carrots. Cut them up, 3/8 of an inch or so. Same thing with the celery. Cut those up to about 3/8 of an inch. You don't have to be perfect with this, but you don't want them too small. You're going to dice up an onion. I like to cut it in half, peel the skin off. And then we're doing, a rough dice somewhere around, same thing. 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch. You don't want them too small that they're just going to melt away, but you want to have some texture, so add them about 1/4 of an inch. Now go ahead and bust up some garlic and get yourself some cloves. The more garlic, the better, I consider. I got 3 really large cloves for this dish. So go ahead and peel them up, then chop and dice them. Same thing, you don't want to go too small and you don't want to go too large. We're not looking for a mince, you're looking for a rough chop, somewhere around 1/4 of an inch. And there you go, 4 simple ingredients that you need to prep for this incredible flavor of a dish. All right, in this step, we're going to prepare the pan. Put it on low to medium heat and then add your oil. I keep these on low because these braisers get really hot. In this step, we're going to brown the chicken. So after that pan is good and hot with that oil, you can always test it with sprinkling a little water on it, and if it sizzles, then it's ready to add the chicken. You want to place the chicken with the skin side down and spread them out a little bit so they have a little bit of room from one another. And the key is, once you put those down, leave them there. Do not move them. Now go ahead and add some salt. You're going to salt the underside of these chicken thighs. Be liberal with the salt. Don't be afraid. Now let these chicken thighs do their thing. Don't rush them and don't try to flip them. You're trying to brown up and create a Maillard reaction on that chicken skin underneath. Go ahead and check one of them. If it looks good and got some brown and a little bit crispy, then go ahead, you're ready. Start flipping. If the skin sticks like they did here, you might want to leave it there for a few more minutes until that skin releases. I probably definitely pulled these a little bit earlier, and I could have waited a minute or so to let them brown up a little more, and they would have released and not stuck to the bottom of the pan. Now that they're flipped, we can go ahead and salt this side of the chicken. After you got some decent browning on the back side of the chicken, we're going to go ahead and pull them from the pan. And we're going to introduce them back to the dish a little bit later. Now that we've removed the chicken, in this step, we're going to saute our onions and garlic. So go ahead and add them to the pan and move them around. You're trying to get them all coated with the oil and that chicken fat that rendered from crisping up and browning the chicken. Add the garlic. When you add this garlic, you're going to move it around and then you're going to wait and smell. Once it starts to really perfume and you really get that garlic smell, then you know it's going to be time to add the tomato paste. Now you can saute these as long as you like. You just got to make sure that you don't burn the bottom. So that fond that's in that pan, those brown bits, you just got to make sure you don't burn them. But once you start getting the perfumes smell of the garlic and those onion smell coming through and getting a little translucent, you're about ready to go. Now in this step, we're going to add the tomato paste. Once you get that tomato paste in there, feel free to move it around. You almost want to kind of saute the tomato paste, if that makes sense, on the bottom of the pan. This is going to help heat it up, and it's going to help release some of the flavor in that paste. But you really need this tomato paste. It's a huge part of this dish because it's going to add some acidity. And building flavor in any dish, one of the key things is to add acidity to the dish. So go ahead, keep working it around. Mix it in with those onions and garlic. Now before you burn anything on the bottom of this pan, you're going to start to deglaze it. So add some of that chicken stock, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. And now start working it around. You're trying to get all the brown bits, in my instance, some of that chicken skin that I got stuck on the bottom, and other parts of the browning of the chicken when you're creating that Maillard reaction. Also some of the onions and garlic would have browned up and left some bits, but we're trying to get all of that off the bottom of the pan. Now add the carrots and celery to the pan and work them around and get them coated with everything that you've already created. This sauce that you've created by deglazing the pan and the onions and garlic. Now it's time to add the chicken back to the pan. You want to spread these pieces out. I like to get them down to the bottom where the bottom of the chicken and the bone is actually going to be in contact with the bottom of the pan. So put them all back in that pan and spread them out somewhat evenly. Now that we got these delicious chicken thighs back in the pan, we're going to crack some fresh pepper over them. Use as much as you like and be as liberal as you like. I like to do a general coating on everything. And now we're going to add some chicken stock to the pan. You want to just cover the bottom of the chicken and maybe about a third of the way up. That's it. Now you're ready to slow cook the dish. You're going to cover it up and let it cook. Halfway through, I like to check it out. Go ahead and baste them if you'd like. Some people like to skip this step. I like to move it around a little bit and add a little bit of that delicious sauce that we're creating in this pan over the top of these chicken thighs. Now the final cooking step, we're going to remove it from the heat. Now that's what I'm talking about. These things look amazing. They absorb those juices. You let it sit here for like 10, 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes. Don't pull it out of the liquid, so leave it in the liquid so it kind of absorbs that liquid back into the chicken. And once it's cool for about 20 minutes, then you can grab one of these pieces out of here. And let's do that now. Grab some of that liquid, just pour it over the chicken. That's the beauty of when you reduce it in those chicken thighs. Let me go ahead and peel some of this off here. See that? It just falls off the bone. That's how tender that is. That is excellent.
So what we're doing is we're getting the combination of the sweetness from the carrots, the acidity from the tomatoes. That celery kind of balances everything out. You have the salt. You got everything that you need to create the flavor. So that's it, how to braise chicken. I hope you see how easy and simple it is, and it's a great way to add flavor to chicken. If you liked the video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you next time on Home Cooked Basics.